Welcome all of you, the viewers of Poland Daily Culture. Today we will be talking about something extremely special, and this is a musical about Irena Sendlerova. With us in the studio, actually on Skype, is Kite, the theater director and the director of this musical. Sir, thank you very much for calling us.
My pleasure. It's great to be here. And I'm sorry not in person, but I'm in the middle of rehearsals, so Skype will have to do for today.
Well, I hope that all the rehearsals go very well and that very soon you'll be ready to perform. So just to start with this, Irena Sendlerova, I would say a very interesting story of her and of saving Jewish children during the World War II. But I would say you're an American. So how did you find out? How did you encounter the story at all? And why did you decide to direct a musical about it?
Well, first off, America is connected to this story because several years ago, some students in Kansas, I don't know if you know this part of the story, actually had an assignment to find a lesser-known hero in the U.S., and they found Irena, and actually she met with those students and I think became quite well known, or more well known in the US, because of this high school assignment to these students in Kansas, which is quite amazing. But for me, I have been looking to do a project with this incredible theater here in Poznan for some time, and I was planning to direct another production before this. When the pandemic happened and COVID happened, I wasn't able to come and do it. So we were searching for something, and when I heard that they were considering a brand new musical about Irena, it was just perfect because this story is so universal and is so needed right now. A story about a hero, but also a story about someone who has flaws and is a person and has to work their way through incredible darkness and try to find some light.
But talking about the story of Irena Sendlerova, of course there was a film, also an American film, about it, but it's still, I would say, not extremely well known. Could you tell us in a nutshell which part of this, of her more heroism during the World War II you want to present in the musical?
So we're focused on her story from the time she was a social worker through the time that she saved hundreds and hundreds of Jewish children from the Warsaw Ghetto by smuggling them out and placing them with Christian families and orphanages outside of the ghetto. And many, many survived because of her work. We go through even a little bit further through the time of communism in Russia until we now see her at the beginning and the end of the play and throughout as an older woman thinking back on her life. That story is quite amazing. It's an incredible story of how she came up with the plan, convinced her co-workers, worked with the underground to save these children against terrible odds. I mean, if she were caught, and in fact she was caught, the penalty was death. The only way she escaped that death penalty was by bribing a guard in part of the story. But these are all things that you will see in the musical itself.
The thing is that how to put this extremely heroic and both also a difficult story to musical, a form which is light in many ways and should be cheerful. But so how are you doing it?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Wait, you're doing a musical about what? That's what people say to me. How is that going to work? So there's incredible music though throughout the play by Worek Pawlik that helps transport us there. It's not a regular musical. It doesn't sound like every Broadway musical you might hear. The music is haunting and helps us understand what it's like to be in the moment itself. So not just telling the story like a documentary, like the film that you mentioned, but a musical like this allows us to be in the drama, to be in the minds of Irena and the children that she saved. And it works quite well because in your mind, you hear music and there's hauntingness and you have emotions that are quite deep. So these are all exposed by doing it as a musical. There's not a lot of tap dancing in the show, but there is dancing.
And we'll talk more about it in the next episode, so we will dig into the topic because it's extremely interesting. And Brian, thank you very much for being the guest in our show. And to all of you, the viewers of Poland Daily, we of course invite you to see and to go to see the musical Irena about Irena Sendlerova. And thank you for watching Poland Daily.